Hi there, welcome to Transcoda Trailer Sales. Today we'll be walking you through your 2025 Wildwood 44View. We are just going to start off at the back of the unit. If you notice off to your left there, you do have your Lippert stairs pre-mount for a Lippert stair system. It's a retractable stair system that is sold separately. If you'd like to get set up with that, you can contact the parts department and you can put together a quote for you. You got your max air fan, which I'll go over inside, and then you do just have your cable satellite inlets right at the back here. And to the left of the unit, this is just a vent for your washer dryer combo inside. You are pre-plumbed for it, but it doesn't include it. That's your main 50 amp power supply. You're just taking note of that silver strip there. It lines up with this silver strip on this side. Once you line that up and push it into place, it's just an 8th turn to lock it in. And then if you want, you can take that threaded collar, you can really lock it down. You got your standard 50 amp plug end. A lot of campsites sometimes don't have 50 amp power, so we do include this 30 amp dog bone adapter. Just keep it in mind when you're going down. When you're going down from 50 to 30, you're only going to be able to run one air conditioner at a time, not two like it has. So just be mindful of that. And then we also include a 15 amp park adapter, so you can go from 30 to 15. But with that, you're really going to be running low on power with something this big. So you're really only going to want to run your lights in your fridge, and that's about it. If you do decide to go with a washer dryer combo, whenever you are running the washer, you always have to make sure the sewer cap is taken off, because otherwise it will backflow into the unit. So you just twist that cap, tight, and it's got those ears. That'll be the same ears your sewer hose has. Just line those guys up, twist, and it locks into place. A little further down the unit, you got this little port here. It is just a service port for your hot water heater. If you flip that guy open, you could use it for storage space, just of course being careful of your ducting and all your wiring and everything, so you're not going to want to put anything too big inside there. And then you got your on-demand hot water system. Open this guy up. You're gonna notice right here, you just got that on switch. We currently have it off because it's winterized. Turn that off, and that just supplies power to the thermostat inside, which I'll show you already. I'll show you later. Whenever you are winterizing this guy, this isn't gonna be like your traditional water heater where you bypass it. This one doesn't have any bypass valves, and you shouldn't bypass it. You do have to run antifreeze through it, and then whenever you're done your winterizing, just cracking this pressure relief valve and leaving it open like it is now. That way, once the antifreeze gels up, once it gets really cold, it has a place to go and doesn't crack the coil. Just locks into place like so. You got your exterior shower, as well as your black tank flush. So the way that works is with your sewer hose connected and your black tank open. Important you do so, otherwise you do run the risk of bursting your tanks.
Service ballpark 1.
It just flushes that tank out, keeping things that little bit cleaner. You got your 2 low point drains, so if you're leaving the unit for a while, you don't want the water going stale or stagnant, crack those guys open. Also helps if you're doing any work on any sort of faucets. Again, just cracking that guy open, letting that guy drain. Same sewer hose, and this is gonna be for your black and your gray. You're always gonna wanna empty your black first. It's gonna be your dirtiest water filled from your toilets, and then you can come behind that with your gray, which is typically cleaner water. Just helps keep that hose that little bit cleaner. And then further ahead, you got your galley, as well as your second rear bathroom, your black tank. So you do have 2 black tanks and 2 grays, or sorry, a gray and a galley. The gray is gonna take the rear bathroom. It's gonna take all that water that comes out of there, including your shower. And then your galley is gonna take the sink that's inside your front bath, as well as your kitchen sink. And then you have the second black tank, which is just from that front toilet. Hooks up the same way. Further ahead, you got this compartment here. Not much you need to worry about there. It's just a service port for your fridge. Whenever your furnace is running, this is going to be blowing out hot air, so just be mindful of that. And then you got your city water connection. So if you're at a site with service, just thread a garden hose in there, turn it on. It's going to pressurize all those lines without needing to run your water pump. Then you do have a fresh tank. Putting a garden hose in there, turning it on, that's going to fill that fresh tank, and that's what your water pump draws off of. You also have a second black tank flush for the rear tank as well. And then right down below the floor, you're gonna notice this big valve. If you open that guy up, it's just gonna drain any water you have inside the tank out. And then located inside this front compartment is some storage space. You get your starter kit, which does come with a 10-foot sewer hose, 15-foot water hose, and then just some other miscellaneous goodies, as well as that 15-amp park adapter, which I've already told you about. Whenever you are storing stuff in here, just be mindful you got this hydraulic ram for your versatile bed and some wires as well. And it also shares a space with the front bed, so if you lift the front bed, you can get access into this. You also have this nice little metal tray here, which does clip on the other side of the unit, which I'll show you where that is. Then around the front of the unit, get your propane tank covers. Most of the time, you can just loosen these guys off and get most of what you need done right from the top here, but just for the purpose of the video, we'll put a cover right off. And then underneath here, you have your standard 30-pound propane tanks. Works like any standard barbecue tank. You're just opening that up counterclockwise, turning it slowly. Once it's fully open, you have the flow propane open to the unit. On your regulator, you do have this selector valve. So with it pointed to this tank, you're obviously going to run off this tank. If this tank were to go empty, you just turn this off. You can flip it over to the other side and then run off this tank. And then right inside this black box is a 27 RV battery. And that's going to be where that is hosed. And around the left side of the unit, you got some power plug-ins. And then you have your patio door entrance. Assist handle works the same way as the back one. You're just pushing it up fully at 90 degrees. It'll lock into place and you can pull down your stairs. We are going to enter through the rear door today, just for the video. You get your 2 exterior JBL speakers. Again, another couple power cord inlets. And then just a coax cable inlet as well. And now we get to that rear door. These stairs do work the same way as the front set. You're just pulling down on them. Allows them to fold out. That last step down, and then you can open up that door and hop on inside. First thing you notice, stepping on in, as the slide outs are closed, you do just have to step over the couch and make your way over to the control panel, which is just over here. We'll turn on some lights so you can see. Hit that slide out button out. Both slide outs do work off the same switch, so you're just holding that button and they'll start making their way out. Always making sure you know what's on either side of the slide out, inside and out, before you operate it. That way you don't run the risk of breaking anything. It's always going to push out the less heavy end first and push in the heaviest end last. So usually that kitchen slide is going to come in last and go out last. And then aside from that, you do have your awning control as well. So pushing and holding that button out, that awning is going to start making its way out. And once fully extended, you'll be able to see the back of the metal tube and the little flap hang down. Now with this awning, due to its size, there is no pitch control. So if it were to start raining or get windy, you are going to want to make sure you bring that guy in, as it is a very big awning. And you see you got that flap starting to hang down in the back of the metal tube, and that's when you know you're fully out. To get it in, you're just pushing the in button and the awning will start rolling its way in. If you ever do start rolling it in when it's wet, at your next most convenient time, always make sure you roll it back out just to let it dry out. That way no mold and mildew starts growing. That's going to be it for that there. You got a light switch here, which is on a dimmer, so you can dim those strip lights on the roof. And then you also have an awning light outside there as well. And then you just have some accent lights which light up the back of the slide out there. And then you got your monitor panel. Black one is going to be for that main black tank for the back bathroom. Black 2 is going to be hooked up to this bathroom that's inside here, just a little bathroom. And then you got your gray and your galley. Gray again is for that back bathroom, and the galley is going to be hooked up to this little bathroom and the kitchen sink. And then you got your fresh and your battery level as well. And then right here is your thermostat for your hot water heater. Push that button once, it's going to turn itself on. It's going to tell you what the current output temp is. Of course, it's always going to be low if the water's not on. Pushing the button up or down at any time changes the set temperature you'd like. It's locked to 50 degrees right off the bat, just to stop kids from scalding their hands. So if you want to turn it up past that, it'll go to 55. If you push and hold that button for a few seconds, you can go up to 55. You can change it between Celsius and Fahrenheit with just the press of a button. And then you have your first thermostat located on the wall here. So this is going to control that rear air conditioner as well as the furnace. Pushing that button once, it's going to illuminate itself. If you turn the dial, push the dial and turn it, you go between cool, heat, or you can go cool plus heat. So it'll kick in whatever is needed depending on what you have the room set to. If you push enter, you could change your fan speed between auto, high auto, or low auto. Auto means it's an on-demand system, so it'll kick the air conditioner in and out as needed. The furnace does only have one fan setting, so whenever you're selecting a fan setting, it is for the air conditioner, not for the furnace. And if you were to turn it off auto, the fan for the air conditioner does run full time regardless. And then you got dry, which is a dehumidify mode, so it's going to kick the air conditioner in and out depending on what you have it set to. Again, we go to that air conditioner high, and then at any point you're just turning this dial and you can change what you want your room set to. And then just back over to off to turn everything off, and you can run the fan individually just by pressing the button twice, and you go between high and low. And we'll go back to the back of the unit now that we're done with that there. So unlike traditional air conditioners, you used to have a setting where you can open up these louvers to dump all its air into the main living space, but because this unit is equipped with a high flow system, they do glue these shut so you can't open them up, and don't try because you can break it. Up top here, we do have a little bed area for the kids. Not much up here other than a sleeping space, a window, and some storage. We'll come to the back now. So whenever you're opening the door to the bedroom or the bathroom, just being careful when you do open it, because they open them a little different than a standard door. You can walk into it, because I've done it. Taking a step into the bathroom, you got your kitchen sink with hot and cold water. Main GFI plug just on the wall here. You got reset in the middle, test on the bottom. If you ever have a plug that doesn't work, that would be the first place I'd look. Storage space inside here. And then you do have your fuse and breaker panel. Whenever you have a breaker trip, it's going to sit in the middle, so you do just have to turn it off and then back on again to reset it. They're all labeled for you nicely here. And then of course you got your fuses on your right. Whenever a fuse blows, there will be a little red indicator light letting you know which one's gone. All the blinds in the unit do work the same way. Now, the blinds in the main living space are operated by motors, so don't try pulling on them. All these blinds that are in the bathroom, the living room, and the 2 upstairs bunks aren't motorized, so you can pull down on them wherever you stop is where they'll stay, and then one quick pull will allow them to retract back up. You got your max air fan on the wall here. To get that to open and turn on, you're just having to push this button, black button, and push the handle out. That opens it up, and then the little black button on the top turns it on. Little fuse right down here at the bottom. And to close it, you're just pushing the button and pulling towards you. Inside this little cupboard here, you can use it for storage space, or you are pre-plumbed for a washer dryer combo. If you'd like to get set up with that, again, you can contact our parts department and they can get you set up with that. And another thing, if you are winterizing it, always making sure that you do run antifreeze through these lines. Otherwise, again, you can run the risk of bursting them. You got your shower with hot and cold water. Quite the fancy head. So this knob on top is going to control the setting it's on. There's a bunch of different settings. You can either have the blasters on, or you can have the rain shower head on, or you can swap it between this one, or you can have them all on at once. And then, of course, all the way to the right is for hot, all the way to the left is for cold. And whenever you pull it back is the power that comes out. It's backwards, I think. There we go. So whenever you're traveling, always making sure you re-strap that latch. That way this doesn't go sliding around whenever you're driving, because it will smash. Got your toilet, not much I'm going to show you there. Taking a step up, you do have a central vac system Sliding that over will allow you to slide that hose end in, turn it on, and then you do have a dustpan system, so you can sweep up all your dirt and gravel in front of here, and this turning it on will suck it all up. Always being mindful of what you suck up though, because it does go into a bag, so anything sharp like a stick or something like that can puncture the bag. And then to get to that bag, you're just having to stick your finger in there, pull it back, and pull it out, and that'll allow you access to that bag and to change it out. We can sell you replacement bags here at the shop. Again, just contacting our parts department and they can get you set up with something like that. Taking a step into the living space, you're gonna notice this nice little back mantle. You can use it for drinks or whatever. And if you open it up, there is a little bit of storage space under there. Kind of hard to see if you don't know what's there. This couch does fold out into a bed. Just having to remove those cushions. Pick the foot of the couch up and pull out, and the feet fold out, and you can close it on down, and then you fold the back down and you have yourself a bed, and then to fold it back up, just the complete opposite, and setting it into place, putting the cushions back where they were. So again, all the blinds inside this main living area all are on a motorized control, so I'll show you that in a second. This one is going to be an emergency exit, so if you pull this and slide, the window slides open and you can pull that screen on behind it and hop on out. Entertainment area, hidden behind here. Open this up, gives you access to that JBL sound system. Power button, just like any household system. This little here, if you push that open, you get a USB plug-in, an HDMI plug-in, as well as an aux cord plug-in, a little bit of everything, and it does have Bluetooth. Power button to turn it on. Other than that, just like home controls, except you have A, B, and C. So A speakers are going to be the front set of speakers, B is going to be the back set of speakers, and C are your exterior speakers, so you can turn them on and off individually as you please. And then here you got your little fireplace. Hitting that power button turns on just the light effects. You can choose between your different flame colors with the button to the left of the far right. Button beside that does your light colors. And then second from the left is what's going to turn it on. Pushing it once just turns on the fan. Pushing it twice will put you on low heat. And pushing it a third time will get you on high heat. And then the far left button is just a timer, so you can go anywhere from 30 minutes to about 9 hours. And it'll automatically turn off. And then power button on the far right to turn it off. Nice little stool here, which also has some storage in it. And you get your nice little countertop here. There's stools underneath. And of course, noticing you do have travel straps on those. So always making sure you latch them up before you go traveling anywhere. That way they don't shift around. And then of course, because this unit has propane inside of it, you got an LP detector right here near the ground. If this guy ever starts going off, don't panic. Just turn off the main supply of propane at the front of the unit and open up some windows to ventilate it out a little bit. It's also very sensitive to cleaning chemicals, so be mindful of that. Now into the kitchen space. This is a really nice storage spot, but it'll only let you open up so far because this as well has a travel strap on the left side. Just having to pop that strap off and it'll allow you to open it up the rest of the way. But again, whenever you're traveling, making sure you have that latched up. That way it's not shifting around, causing any damage on you. Now you get to your range. So this is a convection oven. It's also your light for in this area, as well as your range hood. I do recommend running that range fan whenever you're using this, just because it helps evacuate those propane fumes. And then to get this going, you're just having to push it in, turn it over to the high option, and it fires right on up. So because I had the propane system running not too long ago, it fires right up right away. But if the propane system was off for a while, all the propane leaks out of the line and air gets in, so it takes a few minutes sometimes just to purge all that out, especially when it comes to lighting the oven. And lighting the oven is as simple as you open up this door. Right down here through these grates, you see all these holes. It's going to be how you know it's lit. So you're just going to take your knob, push it in, and turn it to the left. You're going to see that igniter going, and eventually you're going to see the little pilot light. Once the pilot's lit and can hold its own, you can turn it up to your desired temperature, and it does fire right on up. And and then you can turn it all the way off. You get your oven light on the left and on the right, and on the left is your little stove knob lights. There's lots of lights all around the unit as well. Storage all around, and right inside here is where all your central vac tools are. Residential style fridge, so it is only going to work whenever you're plugged in. Again, noticing the travel strap, just so you're not causing any damage. All the controls are right up at the top here. Freezer down below. It also has an ice maker, so whenever it comes time to winterization, remember that service port I told you about earlier? That's where you're going to get access for that to winterize it, so you can run some antifreeze through it so you don't have any issues in the springtime. Inside here, open that up. And that is that second bathroom I told you about. It just has a little sink and just a toilet. You also have another max air fan here. And one thing I did forget to mention, you got this beautiful kitchen sink. It has a nice little cup washer. It has a bunch of different options you can use. It also comes with a bunch of extra pieces that you can install in there, as well as a little vegetable strainer / washer that you can put in there, and that's all just located in that bottom drawer. On the wall, this is where we're going to come to all our shades, so you can control each shade individually, or you can operate them all at once. It's just turning the switch on is activating them, and then you can go either down or up. Don't panic if they do stop or start on their own. The motors know their stop and start points, so that is one nice feature. And once you're all the way down like that, you just go back up and they'll all start making their way up again. And that is just the main living space. All the other blinds are going to look the same, but they're on their own buttons or on their own spring tension. And then turning all these off, you have your TV lift option. Turning that on, pushing that up, brings that beautiful TV up. You also gain some counter space if you were to bring it down because you weren't using it. And again, once it gets to the top, it stops, and then you can go back down to hide it back down. You are going to notice you have a fire extinguisher right next to the patio door. Just like home, pull the pin and shoot. Up top, again, you have more bunk space, as well as that second air conditioner, and the controls for that are inside this bedroom. Of course, again, opening up that door, just be mindful it does open up a different way than standard doors. On the wall, you got your light switch. You also have your VersaTilt bed control. Pushing that button up, the VersaTilt bed will start making its way up. And then you can push that switch down, and the VersaTilt bed will make its way down. Now this thermostat is going to only control this front air conditioner. Now you can only run 2 air conditioners at the same time if you're to be hooked up to 50 amp service. Pushing this button once, again, works the same way as the one I showed you earlier, and it only has the cool option, so you can't even try firing anything else off of it. Works the same way. It also has the dehumidify zone. But let's say you were to have your rear air conditioner running and you just wanted some more extra fan speed. You could just run the fan on this, just making sure you don't have the cool on, because as soon as that compressor kicks in, it is going to kick that breaker if you're only on 30 amp service. Inside the bedroom area, tons of closet space, as well as a second fireplace. But again, if you're hooked up to 50 amp service, you can run both of these at once. But if you're only hooked up to 30 amp service, you can only operate one at a time. You're gonna notice this drawer here, antifreeze inlet. Pull that open. You can take either tab on either side, pulling them opposite ways of each other, and it will unlock those drawers out of their tracks, the drawer out of its track. It'll allow you to slide that drawer right out of there, and it gives you access to that bypass hose for your antifreeze, and the valve is just down. If you follow the hose, right there, right here. That's how you're going to be hooking up your jug of antifreeze. Then to get the drawer back into place, just lining up the tracks, making sure everything slides in nice. You're gonna hear the audible click, and it goes back into place. Other than that, storage space all around in here. Again, all the blinds in these bed areas and the bathrooms just sit where you leave them in one quick pull. Will allow them to retract back up. And that's going to be it for this unit here. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call.